and Simon with Assets and Arbitrage. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday. Today is April 27th, 2024, in the year of our Lord. We have a few things to do today. So this show, we're working on the hour show. So let's see. If it runs over, it runs over. But we're going to try to maybe do about an hour. And then during the week, we'll try to give you the little short prelim shows. And then dig into it a little bit deeper maybe the next day.
Yeah, we had a couple articles that I found interesting. I'm always looking for articles and things like that, see what's going on around across, around the globe, as they say. As we want to say, be stacking, your ounces, your satoshis, and anything else you might want to stack. Today is the last day of National Coin Week, which was the 21st of April through the 27th of April. So, you get your coins if you can, put those away. It's very important to stack coins. It's very important. It's important for you. It's important for your family, your loved ones, stuff like that. So stay stacking all the time, and just have that mindset that I am going to stack weekly, no matter what. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. It's just whatever you can afford. This is what I'm gonna stack, right?
Also, I hope that you guys, even if one of you took some type of participation in National Coin Week, right? It was a way to make, I'm going to say, citizens of the United States, I'm sure it's an international thing, just aware of the value of precious metals.
Yeah.
Even though this is the Bitcoin space, there was a very deliberate and methodical point to sever generations from understanding the value of precious metals, silver and gold, and to place instead of having the trust inside of the thing of actual value, which is the precious metal of gold, to put the trust inside of the thing that has no value, which is the promissory note. Because really that's what fiat currency is, right? The US dollar is a promissory note. If I woke up and I took some money out of my husband's wallet, and I left him a note and said, hey, baby, I borrowed $25 to go get my nails done after work today. I'll pay you back when I get home. The value isn't in the note, the IOU note, right? The value would be in the actual $25 that I give him when I come back. And that is what the promissory note was. If I trade this fiat currency into the bank, I should be able to say I would like its value in the thing of actual value, which is in this amount of gold, right?
This is true.
And what they did was they wanted future generations to be severed from A, the understanding of it, and B, to direct or misdirect, misdirect their trust into a thing of no value. And this is one of the reasons why we push it so hard, even though this is a Bitcoin space, it's a crypto space. We want you to understand the value of cryptocurrency. It has a reputation of over 6,000 years. And the value has maintained itself over 6,000 years. Nothing else has performed that way. Everything else has passed away, faded away, returned to its intrinsic value of zero, et cetera, et cetera. So we are noticing like this new generation doesn't seem to have any value whatsoever for silver and gold, and that was deliberate. That was on purpose.
Yeah, and she said something she said it will return to its intrinsic value of zero. So we all know the dollar is down over 98%. So it is returning to zero. It's going to get there. Everybody's hustling around CBDCs, stuff like that. We're going to talk about that, but yeah, the dollar is getting closer. It's creeping to zero. The oldest currency, the British sterling pound, right?
Yes, I was just about to ask you about
It's
that.
about 99.5%.
It's just a little bit further along in its
Close.
decline.
It's close to the dollar, but it's been around about 350 years.
And it has lasted the longest?
Yeah, that's the longest.
There's
Yeah.
a gentleman, he had told me his name once, and
Okay.
I failed to remember his name.
What did you do?
He created a book with currencies from A to Z.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's a historical document, basically, even though it's a book, it's a historical document that lists every single fiat currency that returned back to zero. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was over 10,000 or something. It's a high
Yeah.
number. Don't quote me on the number, though.
Yeah. Like she says, the fiat currency has no value, and it will always return to its intrinsic value of nothing. Right? You go to the mint in, let's say, Philadelphia Mint. It costs the same amount to make a $1 bill as it does a $100 bill. So there is no value. There's no value. It's just a unit, what you say, for exchange. There's no value. $100 bill is not more than a $1. So, for example, let's do this because a lot of times money is weighted. So you weight money. So if you couldn't see, if you were blind or you had a blindfold on, you know if somebody put like 4 ounces of silver in your hand and you're like, oh, okay, I can feel the weight of the money. Where
If I put $1, I don't know if it's $1 or if it's $20.
yeah, you don't know. They all feel the same. So
I'm blind and you owe me $150 and you put $2 bills in my hand. Like, yeah, we good.
yeah, so it was weighted. It was always weighted back in the day. You watch old movies and things. You have the scale, so you so if I came to buy rice, you'll measure it. And then, oh, this is what it costs, and then you would then measure the money that I gave you, whether it's silver or
Right.
gold. So you would measure it, and then that transaction would be closed.
And the Bible says an unscaled, the Bible says
She's looking up.
it's
She's
like
looking
like when the balance is not, it's an unhonest scale. Thank you. A dishonest scale. I was like, what is that? A dishonest scale is evil.
Yeah.
Right. So the idea is when you go to the market, now here, when we shop at the market, everything we buy is by the kilo, which for you guys is 2.2 pounds. Right, because we do the metric system in the rest of the world. The United States do what they want. So when we buy tomatoes, eggs, flour, black pepper, pick it, right? Chicken, steaks, chicken wings, everything is by the pound. And it's by the kilo. And it's like that in the United States. It's just that you guys are so used to things being packaged that you don't really notice it. Like you pick up chicken in the United States and it costs $32.58. You're willing to pay the $32.58. Many people don't look at why is it $32.58. Well, the chicken wings for some odd reason is like $16 a pound, and you only got 2 pounds of chicken wings, and you don't realize, like, well, damn, this is expensive. To you, you're just looking at the actual unit cost, and you don't really pay attention to it. I do want to welcome Rick Smix.
Okay.
To the room. It's a name I haven't seen before.
So
welcome, Cousin Ricks. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
They said just hopped on.
Okay.
So I'm so glad that you joined us today. There's about 25 people in the room. We're 8 minutes in. We do realize it's Saturday. People are out doing stuff. Hopefully it's a beautiful Saturday where you are. Spring-like, summer-like. Not rainy, maybe some sun. I know it's almost 9 o'clock where you are. The sun hasn't set here yet.
Yeah.
But let's catch y'all before y'all go to the club and spend a whole bunch of money.
Before y'all go to the club.
Spend a whole bunch of money.
Come on, guys. Don't go to the club. So yeah, I had a few articles to go over. This first article, and we talked a little bit about this, but they came back with more information. So as Aaron likes to talk about, World Economic Forum says 98% of central banks are preparing to launch CBDCs as their finance enters next phase. So
we read that last show.
Did we? Okay.
We did.
So I'm sorry I thought it was an overlay from the last?
No, baby, we went over that
Oh,
last year.
okay. All
With
right.
the wealth gap, do that one.
Oh, she wants the wealth gap. Okay, well,
Because the name of the show was Are You Concerned About the Wealth Gap? Hi, Colonel. You done snuck in the room. I didn't even see you. Oh, okay, Rick, you're in California. I'm sure Cali is good. If you live in Southern California, I heard it never rains there. Showing my age now.
what they say. But go ahead. I think because a couple of these articles are
Well,
a
Simon
little
came
hard.
across an interesting article, and the show is
I'm
based
learning
off of that
from it.
article. Are you concerned about the wealth gap? And we have this great mix of different generations, millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, and all these boomers. I don't think anybody from the silent generation is still alive. Very few people from them
They're
are.
very hard. They're very old. They're very
Um,
old if they are.
well, in this particular article, what they are doing is they are comparing the different generations and their counterparts as far as the type of wealth that they'll receive. Apparently, hubby has shared with me, and correct us if we're wrong, but I'm sure hubby's pretty accurate when he states this, that the boomer generation is the most wealthy generation in history.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it has the most wealth of all time, the boomers. And so what it is that the boomer generation, as they transition, will be leaving their wealth to either, like you said, Gen Z, millennial, or what are we, Generation X, something
I
like
think
that.
I'm a millennial, but you're Gen X, just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of the separation in the 1 year.
And so that is,
Baby, did you lose it? Because I can find it real quick. Y'all
yeah,
hold
I
on
lost
real
it.
quick. I can find it. And then we'll share our screen so you guys can see the article. It's the wealth
Yeah.
gap.
So it's a wealth gap. So it's a wealth gap, and it's also a wealth transfer. If you look at it as such, so when you see somebody maybe, and it could be small wealth transfers, it could be large wealth transfers from businesses and things like that, all the way down to maybe it's a home, some land, property, stuff like that. So you see the transferring of wealth from a boomer generation to a Gen Z millennial generation. So,
Let's do this one first when you're ready.
okay.
So this one actually solidifies what hubby was saying. I think
Okay.
it's important for you guys to see. The great wealth transfer from baby boomers to millennials will impact the job market and economy, and then we can do that wealth transfer. Oh no, don't do that.
Oh, it's one of those.
I wanted to make sure. No, I can see the whole article, but it's just pop up after pop up. So let me get rid of the pop ups before I share my screen so it doesn't distract you guys. Cousin Rick said, Generation X, we are looking to evolve with new wealth. We are.
Yep. Yes, indeed, sir. And I agree with you. I agree with you on that. We are looking to evolve with new wealth. So that's why we have to keep stacking, stacking, stacking. Friend of the show, Ricardo Hamilton, always says, if you don't come from a wealthy family, make sure that,
A wealthy family comes from you.
yeah, so make sure you build that out. And, wealth isn't, people put a number on it. It's not a number. It's just having assets. It's having assets. Andy Scheckman would say gold and silver, that is wealth. If you have gold and silver, that is wealth. And so we're big proponents of precious metals, and we're big proponents of Bitcoin. Get your, have your Bitcoin. Everybody know they got to have their Bitcoin. So that's not even anything I need to say. But um, yeah, that's just part of what it is. We could just
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
read it. Just read it.
I'm going to read it. We got an upgrade to Restream, so I just got to get used to it. But anyway, the great wealth transfer from baby boomers to millennials will impact the job market and economy. You guys can find this in Forbes. Baby boomers were in the right place at the right time, and we constantly talk about that. Following World War II, the generation experienced immense economic growth and prosperity. The state of,
so-
oh, sorry, babe.
And just, I'm not to mean to cut
No,
you
go
off,
ahead, sweetheart.
but we did a show about, it's called The Fourth Turning. And it talks about uh, different places in the generations that come around and where they, like he said, they were in the right place at the right time because that was the fourth turning, where after World War II, then it opened up a lot of opportunities for people, right? They came back, the GIs came back, they had the GI Bill, they got homes, they built families and stuff like that. So, yeah, if you check out The Fourth Turning, you'll understand
Do you
some of
remember who
these.
wrote it, the guy's name? You always call his name.
I know one was Strauss and
Strauss and Howe?
Strauss and Howe.
And yeah, you guys can find that on Amazon. And hopefully you guys who have Amazon Prime are utilizing your Kindle Unlimited, right? I think you have to pay extra for it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We just had this stuff set up. Do we pay extra for it? It doesn't matter. It's the best $10 you ever spend, y'all.
Yeah, and even with The Fourth Turning, if you just catch it on Wikipedia, you'll
Oh
learn.
yeah, you get the
You'll-
wiki.
Yeah, you'll learn a lot about it just on Wikipedia.
The wiki preview, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, you explained that, thank you, bub. And you cut me off when you need to so that you can get a point so we don't miss it. The state of affairs afforded them the golden opportunity to accumulate so much wealth in their lifetime. Boomers born between 46 and 64. That's interesting.
That's a turning, but that's a turning.
But
That's
then my mom isn't a boomer then. Was she silent generation?
Yeah.
And my dad too?
Yeah.
And then what would my grandmother be?
Oh.
Because she was born in
It went-
1917. It was the silent generation.
Yeah, that's a silent.
So my mom isn't even a boomer, y'all. She's the what do we call them?
Silent generation.
She's the silent generation.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I got old parents, y'all. Anyway, they're currently the wealthiest generation on the planet. Their mean net worth falls between 970,000 to 1 million to 1.2 million, according to Fortune magazine. In the late 1950s through 1980s, many families lived relatively well without attending a university.
Yeah.
They were working in trades. You didn't need to enter six-figure debt in order to earn a degree. Home prices were absolutely affordable. I tell you my parents' journey all the time. And as a matter of fact, they made out like fat cats just because of the time and the place that they were in. And of course, they expected to gain equity within the home, but they couldn't have expected that windfall the way it fell.
And I will say this about The Fourth Turning, Strauss and Howe. Is that
Strauss and Howe, yeah.
Two.
I just can't remember their first name.
Two white gentlemen. It is written for the United States, right? So if your parents came, they really weren't factored into the turning until they got here. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So they got factored in.
That makes sense, which made them boomers, even though they don't fall within those years. Understood. The silent generation, which are the parents of the boomers, which doesn't make sense because my parents are a silent generation, will pass down 84.4 trillion. Now look at the difference in those numbers. So apparently the boomers have 970,000 to 1.2 million. The silent generation had 84.4 trillion in assets through 2045. That does kind of make sense though, doesn't it? With the 72.6 trillion going directly to their heirs, according to an analysis by financial market intelligence firm Cerulli and Associates. The transfer of wealth will create a wave of changes for millennials in their ability to purchase homes, pay off student debt, travel, buy high-end products, and invest in the stock market. So here's one of the things that we want to talk about with that. If you are one of those heirs, let's call it that, right? If you're an heir, I in particular am one of those heirs. You want to have a plan. You're not planning on somebody's death or anything like that, but it is inheritance that is passed down, passed through. You want to always have a plan for expected money, or I should say expected payments and unexpected payments, right? A lot of people receive unexpected funds, and because they don't have a plan for it, it's like pouring water through your hands. It just, you didn't have a plan for it, you're just spending it. We have a friend who recently came into probably about 100 stacks that money gone. It's
Yeah,
gone
so
in months.
you know, and not to change subject, there's a great book that I read. It's called The Inheritance. So you could tell them about the book. Did you read that book as well? I'm pretty sure you
I
did.
did. My brain's not that great this
Okay, good.
weekend, but we talk about this on the show all the time. Simon, from probably since I met him, has always had two separate plans, right? One, this is how we have productive money, we have unproductive money, we're going to
Dang.
turn unproductive money into productive money, and so on and so forth. But there are times and expectations, right? Because you do kind of manifest in that way, that if there's an unexpected windfall, if an unexpected amount of funds come into your hands, when you have a plan for it, it now becomes productive funds, right? If someone in your family passed away and you unexpectedly happen to be someone who is receiving some sort of payment, some sort of inheritance, you don't want to be like, oh, I didn't expect to get 25 G's. I'm going to go get this, I'm going to go get that. And like the money's spent before the check is even cashed out to you.
Yeah, and so as as Bitcoiners, we always want to allocate. As she said, if you get unexpected windfall of money, you got to allocate some to your Bitcoin. Definitely to your Bitcoin, and also to your precious metals. I mean, these are the things
Or whatever
that
your portfolio is
yeah,
made
and
up of.
in your portfolio, everybody has a different portfolio. Some people have a job where they get a portfolio there, so they got a portfolio here. So you're getting a little bit of something everywhere, and that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing.
Real quick, we want to welcome Cousin Ty Madon. I'm going to call you
Okay.
Cousin Ty. Thank you for joining.
Hey.
Cousin Rick said COVID showed us a lot in 2020. It was the phase of rug pulls and crashing of Celsius, FTX, Luna, and really happy that got flushed out because it did not show the highest and continues to push the ETF, which is interesting. And I'm paraphrasing for you, making sure I read that right.
Okay.
Rick said, congratulations to your parents. They were born in the right place at the right time, during the right years, had the right jobs.
Yeah, they did.
The Colonel said, war babies, generation before boomers.
Exactly. Exactly.
Cousin Mo, what's up, cousin? How you doing? And
Mo, what's up, Mo?
but not Jerome, not cousin Jerome.
Okay.
I'll make sure to make the
Everybody's
distinction.
Mo.
And Crip Work, hey love, how are you, sweetheart? Thank you so much for joining us. T Willon, man for
Crip Work,
hire,
Crip
one of
Work.
our favorite cousins. Shout out to the Simons in the chat. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah.
Hit that like button. Thank you so much, cousin, for reminding them to hit the like button for us.
Oh boy.
Cousin Ricks wants to know if we both got diamond hands or you fluctuate your Bitcoin. We got adamantite hands.
Yeah.
For those of y'all, shout out to the Marvel Universe. You know what adamantite is. You know how strong our hands are.
Yeah, you have. And I've gone over this before, but we could do it real quick again. You have different. So if you have a Bitcoin portfolio, as we say, you have, like you said, diamond hands on a certain portion of your Bitcoin. And then you have some Bitcoin that you can use, maybe as it gets some interest and some profits. Then you have that Bitcoin you can use. That's why I like to keep Bitcoin on Cash App. So when it goes up, it's like a savings account over there.
Savings account.
And when it goes up, you can use it. You got the Bitcoin like we have in, what do you call it? What's that place in Africa?
Oh, Sun Exchange.
Sun Exchange. So that Bitcoin we never touch. Never touch that Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin. We don't touch. That's diamond hands right there. Then we have Bitcoin in some put away in some other wallets. And we don't touch diamond hands on that. But you can use Bitcoin. If you have $1,000 and you get a 25% return, then you can use those profits. And so we keep that. So we keep different types of Bitcoin around us. It's a Bitcoin diversification portfolio. Is that what you call it? Okay, that sounds good to me. And so we do that. We love Bitcoin. And it has done a lot for us over the years.
It has benefited our family immensely, and we believe that it will continue to benefit our progeny on through the generations. Okay, so I wanted to grab that other article to kind of piggyback on what you were saying before. I thought I saw it too. The wealth gap.
Okay.
Sorry, we had it on the phone, and
Yeah, the phone's acting
baby
weird.
think the phone is his too. So who will inherit boomer wealth? There we go. I think this is it will inherit over 70 trillion.
Yeah, okay.
Does that sound right?
It wasn't the one. I don't know.
The wealth gap between generations.
That's okay. Yeah.
Let's do this one.
All right. Do it.
Let's do it. The State of U.S. Wealth Inequality, February 5th, 2024. This is the Federal Reserve Bank in St. Louis.
Oh.
So the State of U.S. Wealth Inequality presents a timely look at average inflation-adjusted wealth for various demographic groups. The Institute for Economic Equity provides quarterly data, right? So this would be quarter one of 2024 on racial, generational, and educational wealth inequality based on the average U.S. household wealth. Knowing that the current state of wealth inequality sheds light on opportunities to foster more equitable economy where everyone can thrive. These estimates reveal the size of the wealth gaps. I think this is kind of along the lines of the article that you had originally found.
Yeah.
Between different demographic groups and identify which groups have the fewest resources, because that's what you were trying to tell me.
Yeah.
How counterpart A will receive all of this stuff, and then counterpart B doesn't get anything. And as a matter of fact, they gotta create a GoFundMe because you're just that negative in the hole. Knowing the magnitude of these gaps over time is an important step towards understanding why these differences persist and what actions may close them. So how much wealth inequality is there in the U.S.? So the top 10% of households by wealth had 6.5 million on average. As a group, they held 66.6 of the total household wealth. The bottom 50% of households by wealth had 50,000 on average. So look at that difference. So the top had 6.5 million on average, and the bottom had only 50,000. Not even like a million, 50,000 on average. And they had only 2.6% of the total household wealth, where the top had 66.6%. What is the current generational gap? So here we go. Younger Americans, millennials and Gen Zers owned $1.33 for every dollar of wealth owned by Gen Xers of the same age. Younger Americans, millennial and Gen Zers own $1.21 for every $1 of wealth owned by baby boomers of the same age. Black families owned about 24 cents for every $1 of white family wealth. Let me say that one more time for y'all in the back. Black families own 24 cents, not even a whole quarter, for every $1 of white family wealth on average. Hispanic families own about 19 cents for every $1 of white family wealth on average. But you know that theirs is coming up quickly.
It's coming up.
Because just by sheer numbers.
Volume.
What is the current wealth gap by household education? Families headed by someone with some college education, but typically doesn't have a 4-year degree, had 31 cents for every $1 of wealth. Families headed by someone with high school diploma had 22 cents for every $1 of wealth. And families headed by someone with less than a high school diploma had only 9 cents for every $1 of wealth. So we also understand that education does have an impact on wealth. And it's not necessarily where you have to have a 6-figure debt education, but just the idea of some type of formal education, some type of self-education. People who typically have 4-year degrees have occupations that require continuing education credits
Yeah.
and the upkeep of their hours or their credentials in some which way, shape, or form. Whereas an hourly employee, if they never want to go back to school again, they don't have to. And it shows. You can see the difference in the salary that you can command and the benefits that you can command. People who have six-figure salaries have what we call portfolios they put together when they go looking for a job or when they're, trying to establish a proposal as a contractor, et cetera, et cetera. Typically, our employees have a resume that just lists what they do, what they've done, and really it just speaks to what you haven't done and what you don't have any skills in. And it's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. And we're going to do a show about that.
Let me see if I can sneak this link into the drop down so when the show is over, you guys can have access to that link so that you can look at it yourself.
Yeah, we're going to do a show about that, about jobs and different type of jobs, blue collar jobs, white collar jobs, things that she's talking about. Jobs with education, and then other jobs you might have with we call certification, and everything in between. Everything in between. But yeah. But let's hit the chat room. See what the chat talking about.
Some banks are allowing to stake Bitcoin, but the banks don't really have a good rep, so I see that the credit unions are beginning to stake. We're going to play a video for you in just a second. I hate that. I haven't figured out. I do.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, let me see if I can use one of the new features in order to get the video up. Y'all need to do the show here, then save a gem at the end to send the crowd to y'all channel. Well, you guys can get all of that in the drop down.
Wait. I don't know. I don't understand.
Like, do the show.
Okay.
And then just tell them where they can find the information on our personal channel.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Okay, Cousin Rick's gotta go. We'll see you on the next
All right,
live,
sir.
Cousin Rick's. Bye.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Their numbers coming up quicker because they're working more than us. T-Will, I'm in for hire. Have a good weekend, Cousin Rick's. So there's about 40 people in the room. We're 30 minutes in. So yes, just understanding when they break it down to see how many cents on the dollar of, and notice that everything was benchmarked against white family wealth.
Yeah.
But where did those white families initially gain their wealth from? Right? They had a huge head start. We ain't allowed to talk about it, but they had a huge head start. And that begets that whole reparations talk. And I mean, I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is that they are willing to give reparations to everybody but the people who have earned it the hardest way. So what you have to do is, this is when we talk about being your own financial savior, right? You cannot, it's just too many. I know no one in this space expects anybody to come swoop in and save them.
No, I don't think so.
But you have to have your own economic plans together. You have to create your own economic policy or your own fiscal policy in your household. People turn their nose up when we talk about running our household like a business. They turn their nose up at the idea. And I think the understanding is running your household like a business affords you a discipline and the ability, I'm going to say like a transparency that allows you to see what's going right and what's going wrong relatively quickly. Hey, cousin, let freedom ring. Thank you so much for joining us. Relatively quickly. That way, when things are going wrong, you can catch them quickly and mitigate any volatility from it just as quick. When things are going right, sometimes you can like kind of figure out like, well, hey, what's going right here? And really dig deeper in order to keep that momentum, propelling for you. So this is why we tell you, you need to establish your own fiscal policy in your household. We're talking about taking a weekend to do it, right? Shut off Facebook, shut off Instagram, shut off Netflix or whatever streaming service. Just block off 4 hours, get you a notebook and sketch it out.
Yeah, you got to do that because it is vital, is what she's saying. You need that time. That time, like she said, shut it off, and then you can really, really do what you need to do. And I'm glad that she said that because she does that when it's time to do things. she shuts things off, and she gets in her books, her notebooks, and she get her work done. And she knows how to do that. She knows how to layer it. You might watch some Netflix with the kids, right? But when it's time to shut it down and you get in your notebook, it's quiet. You gotta go sit down somewhere.
And you have
And
to
let me
carve
do
the
this.
time out to do it, right?
Yeah,
People
let me
tell
do
us
this.
all the time they busy. And I'm not flubbing my nose up at people being busy, but I think to myself, like, yeah, you think you're busier than we are. We got 4 kids. We have 2 businesses. I do have a job, right? Y'all, people like to turn their nose up at the idea that I'm not a 9-to-5er. I have a career, right? I have a career.
Not to toot my own horn, but she has a great job and it pays her a ton of money.
And
She won't give me none.
No, y'all don't listen to him. I just bought him a pair of LeBrons. He's wearing them right now. You should show them. Yeah, they loud too. He's been asking for them. He got them, y'all. It took a week to get here.
She is a high income earner, so she also has that on her side as far as investing.
But
do other things.
Time management is just as important as fiscal management. Because with your time, you are able to carve out and plan, prepare. And we always talk about, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready when opportunities come your way. You won't miss opportunities because you weren't prepared. You won't get caught lacking because you were unprepared, right? So there's a huge correlation between time management and money management. And when you talk to DECA millionaires and higher, the class higher than them, they're going to tell you that same thing. They make time to review and look at things that are going to prosper them emotionally, physically, financially, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They look at their whole life portfolio the way a typical person would look at their financial portfolio. And go ahead, babe.
Go ahead.
I was saying, and we want to make it clear, like our show's a little bit different than other shows from the space where you're just going to get technicals and this, that, and the third, because you have to understand wealth. Wealth is a comprehensive thing. It permeates every single aspect of your life. If your mental health or your emotional health or your physical health isn't right, it is going to severely impact, emphatically, your financial wealth.
And some people, there's an article I did want to go over with everyone, but
we got to look for the article.
I decided not to. But I'll give you an overview as they're talking about wealth management and time management. So they're saying if you're at a certain level of wealth, you pay people for things so that you don't have to waste your time.
You delegate.
Right? And so you see that with people. Even if you see somebody, I go all the way back to Steve Jobs. He had the car. What's that car called?
What, babe?
The car he drove in. It was a big black car. You know what I'm talking about?
Like a S500 or something?
No. It wasn't that nice. It was like a Chrysler or something. I'm sorry, y'all. Fact check me.
But go ahead.
But if
he had a driver.
He had a driver, and if it takes.
A Lincoln, maybe?
Yeah, it was a
Lincoln Town Car.
It was a Lincoln Town Car. Thank you. He was right on time. He could get stuff done as you drive 35, 40 minutes to get to the office, right? So you pay somebody to do that. You pay somebody to clean your house. You pay somebody to deal with your laundry and stuff like that, because time is your most important commodity and asset.
And the CEOs and billionaire tycoons do something as simple as they literally have a uniform, so they're not like, what am I going to wear tomorrow? What outfit do I put together for this conference next week? They're not burdened by those little details, right? So you see Mark Zuckerberg, he's going to have that Walmart shirt. I'm sure it's a high quality shirt, but it's blank, right? Because nobody pays him to advertise. If you see, what's our dude's name? That cuss a lot, but he want to be the owner of the Jets.
Oh, Gary V.
Gary V is going to have on what looks like a regular Walmart t-shirt and some jeans.
And some jeans and some Air Force.
Right? Ones. They have uniforms. Your presidents just have the same typical suits, so that you just grab something and you go ahead. You don't waste time during the day making these small little stupid minute decisions that do take up a lot of residency in your brain.
Especially women, no disrespect to women, but You know, and they want to look a certain way.
And you can't get caught in the same outfit twice,
so,
blah, 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 blah.
You know, it's almost like
it's harder for women.
It's harder.
But the men, because men are typically the CEOs, the billionaires, the tycoons, and so on and so forth. Even Mark Cuban, when you see Mark Cuban, he typically looks the same or has that same type of outfit everywhere he goes, unless it's like a black tie event. So we're just explaining to you, wealth is a mindset thing first before it transforms or comes into fruition as a physical, tangible thing. So these are some of the things. If you want to have a significant amount of wealth, you should start looking at and adopting some of the mindset of people who have a significant amount of wealth. It all begins with the time management, financial management, correlation, which requires you to, like I say, I've noticed a significant amount of people in this generation, they cannot be by themselves in silence for a significant period of time. And I know that social media has really programmed them to need to be doing something every single moment of the day. When you have a lull in your day, the first thing you do is grab your phone and start going like this, or start going like this, right? Your Tinder people, your Instagram people, right? Kanye West was explaining to you the dopamine by doing this particular function, right? So put the phone down, lock it out. I'm talking 4-hour period, and that's very hard to do for certain people. If you notice that you can't sit 10, 15, 20 minutes without having to look at your phone or without having to respond to the notification sounds of your phone, they utilize those notification sounds the same way they train lab animals and dogs. So you got to understand how deep the game goes in order to keep you distracted from the things that will transform your life and pull you further and further away or detach you from areas of activity. Shout out to Dr. Neely Fuller and the 9 areas of activity that he discusses, right? You're pulling yourself out of a system, multiple systems. You're walking a little bit further towards freedom. So these are some of the things that you want to keep in mind.
Gotcha.
This is weekend. Tomorrow's Sunday. It's a great day for you to shut off your computer, shut off your phone, get you a pen, pencil, and a notebook, and start putting together financial management, time management, emotional management, spiritual management, right? Whatever type of management you feel, maybe write down the 12 areas of your life that you want to start investigating and looking deeper into. What type of generational curses should you be addressing and working on? What type of talents do you have? There's a lot of people who are very talented, can do a lot of things, but if you ask them to sell themselves, they don't know how to articulate that. Right? And this is what we would call a functional resume. But even if you just jotted down your functional resume in your notebook, can you put together something with those talents in order to command a higher salary so there is more money to invest? These are the questions that you have to start asking yourself.
Yeah, she hit the nail on the head with that one.
Hey, cousin Jake had the baby.
Yeah, the baby.
Our baby cousin is here. Okay, I need you to. I'm gonna get with you, Jake. Right? I'm gonna get with you as soon as it's over.
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Our baby cousin is here. The Colonel wants to know: were you ever able to ascertain which generation turned up their noses at X? Mills? No, and we're talking about just like things we see on the timeline. Simon and I spend a lot of. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the question. I'm sorry.
When I say people turn their noses up at certain things.
Certain things or certain people?
Certain people, certain things, the wealth gap, time management. I'm too busy to do that right now.
Well, if you call this turning up your nose, is people from the baby boomers. Like, they had the right time, it was the right timing, and they got there. And then so when their children come up, it's like, well, why didn't you just
replicate
do
what I did?
But
The time
The
changed,
timing is not like
and the
that.
turning began to initiate
Because
the
the
new
turning is going to
turning.
go every 20 years. And people don't really realize that. And they look at you like, well, I did it this way 25 years ago. And you're like, it doesn't work that way anymore. Right? It just doesn't work that way. You went to college and you got out of college with small debt. Somebody goes to college now, they're going to get out of it with six-figure debt. Just to start, if you try to go, to the second level, right? Secondary degree, it's a secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then try to get a master's degree or a PhD or something. Man, you're gonna be beat down on college that they wouldn't have been, these years ago. So they turn their nose up like, you can just do what I did. I said, no, I can't. It doesn't work that way. It just does not work that way.
So there's that. That answers part of that question. But Colonel, we talked to you enough that we could have that whole long conversation offline. Cousin Mo said confidence. Not sure what we said, but thank you. Nobility Black. Hey, cousin, it's good to see you back here.
Yes, indeed.
There are unknown and known variables that contribute to the wealth gap. Yes, right? And there's different variables for every family and so on and so forth.
Yes, it is.
But the article that you should be able to access in the drop down once the show is over, it just kind of breaks down so you have an idea on how much of a disadvantage we are at, and that every benchmark is the benchmark of white family wealth. So, but you're absolutely right, Nobility Black, yes. The knowns are the black tax, the misunderstanding of consumerism, and usury, and yes, yes, and yes. So what Nobility Black is talking about is how the African American community, because credit is often mismanaged and misunderstood, right? There goes the black tax and the usury, right? We typically have higher interest rates on credit cards. There's a lot more penalization in the use of credit and the misuse of credit. For a long time, there was this weird thing where parents were putting credit in their children's names before they could even
that was crazy,
enroll in school. It was nuts.
Yeah, because you got your children popping up at 18, they already got bad credit. Because
you mismanaged yours and then mismanaged theirs, and then now they're using their children's, and it's just, and those things are very strategic and done on purpose, not by the community, but the forcing of them to find these other ways to misuse, abuse, misunderstand. They're miseducated, uneducated, or undereducated. And Nobility Black is absolutely correct in his assessment.
Thank you. Yes,
Okay.
Sir.
Okay, yeah, cousin Jake, follow me on Twitter and DM me because we want to get something for our little baby cousin.
Yeah. But if you don't mind me,
he said not parents, mamas. You might be right about that, cousin T. Willine. That's so funny. He said don't say parents, say the mamas is misusing children's social security numbers, and this is true, right? Because they're typically single mother households.
That's what it is.
When you have a household with both parents. A lot of times that type of stuff don't
there's no man who can have the baby and do that thing. So
men typically don't do
that. Cousin Jake Fever, if you don't mind, what was the name of the child? I didn't know if it was a boy or girl.
That's true, we didn't know.
If you could let us know, if you don't mind.
But he's gonna DM us his address. I don't know, whether we send the baby some Bitcoin, some silver, some Amazon stuff. All right, we already got a whole bunch of stuff planned for our new baby cousin, our Bitcoin baby. So we are at the 48-minute mark. There's about 40 people in the room. Sounds about right. It's a little bit more accurate this weekend. Yeah. We don't want to keep you guys anymore. It was a girl, and her name. It was a girl, Journey, or is her name Journey? I just want to make sure.
Journey.
I just want to make sure.
Girl, Journey.
I want to make sure if her name is Journey. But we got our baby cousin. That's our Bitcoin baby, Jake.
Cousin.
It's our Bitcoin baby cousin.
Yeah, man. Much love, man. Much love to Jake Fever. And I'm so happy. And this little baby girl. I'm happy.
And tell Mrs. Fever we are so happy. Tell Teach we say congratulations. Her name is Journey. I thought that's what you meant.
Okay, that's
all right. We love it.
That's a great name.
We love it.
Now, so the OGs told me, Jake Fever.
Oh boy. What the OGs say? What the OGs say?
Well, I have 4 sons.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
I have 4 sons.
No girls, because you don't know the recipe. That's
No,
why.
I was always told,
No.
get in chat room and see if you could, double down on this. They said if you had a girl, you just didn't go deep enough.
No.
Pause.
No.
But, hey,
You simply don't know the recipe for a girl, right? Let's leave it at that. You don't know the recipe. But
that's what they told me. So
we love y'all so much, and we are so glad that you guys could join us today on a Saturday. We want to kind of make the shows a little bit shorter, see if you guys like that. We know 2 hours is nuts. When you have a girl, you're a heartbreaker. That I've heard, right? And I think Jake's got another daughter too. Cousin Jake's a heartbreaker. Jay Fever laughing. Did Mariah have a song called Heartbreaker? And Jay-Z did the little verse for her. But we love y'all so much. We hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. Unfortunately, the Colonel's got humidity issues there in Texas.
Yeah, my sons, they're down there watching the Lakers.
And he promised he would go sit
So I'm going to go sit down and watch them get swept. Because that's what's going to happen. But, they love the Lakers. They love them.
Yes, they love LeBron. Yeah. But he used to be a Jordan junkie, so I get it. When I first met him, I was just like...
Oh, she tripping. She tripping. I could tell all kind of stories. So I first met her.
Oh, boy.
I'm talking to her and stuff like that. And
he set up a Super Bowl date, y'all. Didn't ask me if I watch football. Didn't ask if I was...
I'm thinking I'm a girl maker.
I think I'm a girl maker. Oh, Lord.
No, you gotta go deeper. No, I'm saying, but we had a game. It was the Ravens versus the Giants. And she's
the Super Bowl?
Yeah. And I'm thinking, oh, you got to be a Giants fan. You from New York.
Why would I be a Giants fan?
Because you're from New York.
What if I was a Jets fan? You would have overestimated yourself.
The Jets ain't doing shit.
But I don't watch football at all. I'm a 19, I think I was 18 now. I was an 18-year-old girl. I didn't care about no daggone Super Bowl. I did like the commercials, though. But he did a really nice date, y'all. There was chicken wings, because that he knew I loved. It was chicken wings. It was salad, because he's like, you're a girl. You probably don't want to eat a salad or something. Yeah, we're dating. And he did his room up really nice to me. There was flowers. It was the sweetest thing. But, like, we talked, because he didn't care about the Super Bowl either. It wasn't the Bengals.
Yeah, it was the Ravens. But...
And we ended up talking the whole date, because I don't watch football. But it was sweet. The thought was really, really, really sweet.
It had a strong arm.
The Lakers are leading, he said. Let freedom ring.
No, yes, let freedom ring. They've been leading the whole series.
And then they lose at the end.
Yeah, they got 20-point leads, and they lose it. They had an 8-point lead the other day.
Will 45, you're joining us when we're about to sign off, but thank you so much for coming.
What's up?
The Giants fan in the house. But Colonel, I was an 18-year-old girl. I didn't care about no Giants.
Giants fan. Well, she's from New York, so I assumed that she was a Giants fan.
I'm not in New York, and this is what I had to explain to a Midwesterner who all they have is just sports. There's nothing else to do in their city, right? New York, there's 1,000 things to do, so you can understand. And 2, New Yorkers are typically transplants from other countries, other places, other states, other cities.
I mean, Gary Vee came from Russia, and he's the biggest Jets fan there is.
I get that.
He wants to buy
I was an 18-year-old girl. I don't know how to explain that to you. That's not my ideal date, but it was a really nice date because we got to know each other a little bit better. It was like a 3rd or 4th date.
Yeah.
It was early in our relationship. Can y'all imagine I was 18?
Yeah, she was tripping.
I'm almost 50, y'all.
She was tripping.
He said no excuses. I'm almost 50.
No excuses.
And here we are, still arguing about it to this day. But we love y'all so much. Thank you so much for joining us. We do have a bit of research we're doing for you guys to put together a more technical show. It's just taking a little bit to put together. But PBD owns part of the Yankees. Who's PBD? Cousin T. Willine? Who's PBD, if I'm misunderstanding who owns part of the Yankees?
Yeah, I don't know PBD.
And T. Willine, are you from New York too? Are you a New Yorker? And I missed it this whole time? Because I think you said you live in St. Louis or something.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just waiting for him to type, y'all. But the rest of you cousins, I hope you have a great night unless you're looking to see what cousin T will line right back to me. Oh, Patrick Bet Davis, I did not know that. He owns part of the. Yeah, he's in St. Louis. But you're not from New York. You're from St. Louis, right, cousin?
He owns part of them.
I didn't know that. And I never heard anybody call him PBD. You know, I've heard of BBD. I've never heard of PBD.
So,
No, it's a family show.
So I like Patrick Bet Davis.
Yeah, we just talked about him yesterday.
He does good interviews. So I'll take.
Did y'all know he's Iranian, right?
Yeah, he's from Iran.
Yeah, did y'all know? I thought he looked black to me, but he's Iranian.
So,
Let Freedom Reign said, great show as always. Thank you, cousin.
Thank you, sir.
We are going to let y'all go because I need him to go spend some quality time with his son. They played today and they lost. Was it a tournament?
Yeah, they lost in the playoffs. Oh. So they got some weird playoff
rules
bracket. Where like if you lose, you just get put down to another bracket, and you can play in the playoff another day.
Oh, okay. So they live to play another day.
Yeah, they live to play another day.
So he's gonna go sit with them. They're a little bummed that they lost, and they played older. They were older men.
Yeah, they had a tough game.
Like grown men. I mean, Sean grown, but Reggie's 6'6".
Breslin was getting pushed around. He's too thin.
Yeah.
He's too thin. I keep telling him, yeah, you look good. You got 6-pack and all this
he
stuff.
always walk around with his shirt off.
Yeah. I get it. You 6 foot, 140, but.
Oh Lord.
That's why I tell him. I said you built like Tommy Hearns at 92.
That's so funny.
For my boxing fans, you guys know who I'm talking about.
And when y'all see the Martin episode, it's even funnier.
Yeah, so it's like I know the Colonel. You know what I'm talking about.
That's so funny.
Yeah. He's built like Tommy Hearns. He's long and he got long arms and stuff like that. Real thin. He got a 6-pack, 8-pack.
The washboard.
Yeah, and he out here with his shirt off, but they pushing him around.
Yeah, because they're grown men.
Yeah, he went for.
Even his brother, Sean, pushed him around. Sean will, because I think Reggie is technically more skilled than Sean, so Sean gets frustrated. He uses his strength. Bulldog, his little brother, all over the court. But anyway, we're gonna let y'all go, telling y'all a little bit about y'all baby cousins, your younger cousins.
I'm in St. Louis.
Yeah, I knew T. Will. I was in St. Louis.
T. Will, are you a St. Louis Cardinals fan?
They were the Rams that went to LA, weren't they?
I'm talking about Cardinals.
I know, but I'm talking about in
baseball
the NFL.
fan.
So he lost his football team.
Oh yeah.
Because they went to LA. There goes Sean.
Yeah, the Rams used to be them old Rams with Marshall Faulk and all them receivers. What's his name? Oz.
You asking me about?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Torrey Holt, I think, and I can't remember who else was on that team.
The Colonel said, can't forget Iverson. What was we talking about with Iverson?
Talking about Iverson.
I don't know. Wasn't he a 76er?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did he play anywhere else?
He did. He played for Denver. Then he played for Philadelphia.
He played for the Nuggets. Did he really?
Yeah, him and
Melo played together.
They had a good team.
Man, but that must have been towards the end then.
Towards the end of
his career, yeah. And then what was the other one? Our children downstairs cooking up our food. I can smell it all the way up here. Ain't nobody asked me if they can cook anything.
The Pistons. So yeah, we always loved Iverson, man. I remember Iverson from.
Yeah, he used to love Iverson. Sean, when he was a toddler, had the cutest little red and white baby Iversons. And Simon bought nothing but red stuff for that baby for the entire duration of the ability to fit that shoe. It was crazy. They were like, Sean wears a lot of red to daycare. We're concerned about it. So it's just to match the shoes. There's nothing, there's nothing,
those initial Iversons.
We in the military. There's nothing, That's so funny. So T. Willine said his team was the Cardinals, never liked the Rams. All right, that's good to know.
Oh, so I always got because I'm a Reds fan, we'd be hard on the Cardinals because it's
at least been sweeping.
But Albert Pujols tear the Reds up.
Cousin Jake said, thanks everyone. God is good. No, he is great. Our story is crazy, but it's the best outcome. Yes, Jake, I can say the same thing. We feel utterly blessed, and it's always nice to have new baby energy in the house. I get baby fever, something terrible. So, and Tino got no front teeth, so he's growing up on us. If he smiled now, y'all would laugh. And due to inflation, The tooth fairy, man, he breaking her pockets. I'm telling you that now. And he was told that the tooth fairy needs to leave enough money where he can go to Poncho's toy store and buy something bigger than a Hot Wheel. So he said, Stump Mitchell Cardinals?
Say what?
Stump Mitchell Cardinals?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's the Colonel. But we're gonna let y'all go for real, for real. The room actually increased from the time I said we're really gonna go and started talking about all these different things. I think that's funny. More people joined instead of leaving. That's hilarious. But we will be back on Monday night. So we're gonna try to pilot the maybe the articles and the important stuff. So it'll be a much shorter show. And then on Tuesday,
Okay.
we'll do breadth and depth
Okay.
of that information, so it'll be a little bit longer.
I'm with that.
And just see if that ebb and flow works better for you guys. We would appreciate you guys interact with us and talk with us a lot, but it's hard for us to understand demographics, analytics, stuff like that. So if there's information that you wish we would do on the show, please send us an email. If there's a format you better prefer, like just give us some information on the show and things that make other shows better and stuff like that so that we can give you the very best product. One of the things, like I said, we absolutely adore is that we can talk to you and we can talk with you.
Yeah.
That other shows don't do that. We can engage back and forth. Everybody can be heard. Everyone can be seen. And you can feel like you have access to us, because that's also important as well. If you have questions, if you wanted to kind of just what we call spitball or chalkboard or whiteboard with us, things that you would like to do, places you would like to go, economies that you're interested in visiting and working in, or trying out, just let us know. But we are really going to let you go. I want him to go sit with his sons, and I will talk to you guys on Monday. Mamba out.
Lunes.
I never know how to